We're going to start off by showing you guys some actual leadership here. When the courts decide to fuck around with you, what do? Oh, you start blaming everybody else? Oh, we'll be talking about Joe soon enough. But when you're Ron DeSantis, like an actual good elected official, you take it upon yourself to start fighting back, and then you just don't wither away and make your own destination for the weekend and fucking drop everything and run because it's a long weekend and I'm tired. I've been doing so much lately, or other people have. But I guess there's only one president, right? But first and foremost, Florida to start fining businesses $5,000 for violations of vaccine passport ban. Yay. God, that's so good to see. It's just somebody who's not taking the one defeat that they've seen so far in the school mask mandate zone and not shriveling up and dying, but you didn't expect anything less from Trump Jr. Not Don Jr., but you get what I mean. You guys have been around here long enough, and let's see what the future vice president has to say. The Florida Department of Health has issued a notice indicating that it will start issuing $5,000 fines to businesses, schools, and government agencies that require Floridians to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination. Sweet! Because, I forget what that is. I think it's Sunday. We talk about, the success that some vaccine mandates have in the private sector. It looked like early wins, but people are starting to push back against that. But if a private business is allowed to do whatever it wants, including infringing upon your medical privacy rights, really got to think if it's putting a business ahead of a person, it really needs to show what the government is all about. And clearly, at least when it comes to DeSantis, he's a little bit more in the camp of putting the individual above the collective. Not a lot of people are like that. And there's a lot of governors in the United States that don't think that way. But hey, Florida has one for right now. All I know is in a few years' time, that might not be the case. And Florida is still like a 45 Republican states, so I'm not exactly lining up to go down to Florida, because I know that this can fucking flip on a dime, and then all of a sudden all of those benefits that Florida has, they're just absolutely gone. Because you remember how close Andrew Gillum was to becoming the governor of Florida. Ron DeSantis only won by a couple of points, maybe. It was really, really, really close, and Andrew Gillum was running on a platform of putting in a fucking state income tax, something that Florida doesn't have. He was running on that. And he almost fucking won? Like, duh. See how close? It's very, very close. There are those big boxy states in the middle of the country that look a little bit more appealing to me because I've never grew up around water, so I don't really care to have it around. And Wyoming, you have no idea how much money goes farther there than anywhere else. It's just lovely, and there's no remote chance within my lifetime of that state flipping blue. But anyways, we're talking about Florida. Another tangent. I don't know. I've been fucking off lately. Okay, guys. Health Department rule, which goes in effect on September 16th, details the penalties that businesses and other entities, including nonprofits, face for violating Section 381.00316, 316, of the 2021 Florida statutes, which prohibits them from requiring customers or patrons to provide any documentation certifying COVID-19 vaccination or post-infection recovery in order to gain access to the premises or services. Interesting. So they're taking into account natural immunity through previous infection. I haven't seen that before, but that's interesting. Each violation of section, I'm not reading that again, except for the 316. Oh, hell yeah. Will result in an imposition of a $5,000 fine per individual and separate violations against the businesses, governmental entity of the education institution. Fines imposed are due and payable to the department within 30 days of entry of the final order unless otherwise stated in the final order, reads the Florida Department of Health notice. Healthcare providers are exempt from the fine, which also does not apply to vaccine requirements businesses or other entities impose on their own employees. So I guess that there's a little bit of a limit. And that's where those individual lawsuits are going to come into effect. But like I said, more of that on Sunday. And if you guys are finding anything weird on YouTube, just feel free to let me know too, because I had a marathon recording session yesterday, and of the 8 videos that I recorded, everything for Sunday's all fucking done and dusted. But the 2 this morning cut last night, and then everything from yesterday, they're all still running checks, okay? And YouTube, when you're uploading shit in the background, it runs a copyright check, but I don't have any like moving pictures except for me, and I'm pretty sure, at least right now, even though I am Canadian, I do own my own likeness. So I don't know what they're checking for, and the checks have been running ever since I uploaded everything between the hours of like 4 o'clock local and 2 o'clock last night. So what the fuck is happening? So if anything else goofy is happening on the channel, if you guys notice anything going around, that's YouTube being weird. So if you experience any of that, just feel free to let me know too. Anyways, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, the man of the hour, the man of every hour, signed an executive order in April that banned vaccine passports. No COVID-19 vaccination is required by law, the governor order stated, adding that vaccination records are private health information that shouldn't be shared via a mandate. The passport, DeSantis said at the time, would infringe on personal liberties and harm patient privacy. As true then as it is now. What else is Ron up to? Well, that previously mentioned school board usurping of the executive order that allows them to enforce mask mandate. It's so fucking weird that we're having to have these conversations that, yeah, school boards, it's never like they were told that if the kids want to wear a mask, they can fucking wear a mask. Like, they were never told that they can't wear masks. If you're that fucking paranoid and you don't like to read studies or anything, and you just think that masks are somehow the solution, even though they haven't worked every other fucking time. But hey, if you're buying that line of horseshit still, all the fucking power to you, and just tell me which helmet you find most comfortable for day-to-day use. Or if you prefer the glow-ups when you step on your Velcro shoes or not. Makes it easier for the adults to find you and put the harness with the leash back on so you don't go wandering away again. But that was never the case in the schools, okay? But instead, these authoritarian school board, I don't know, tyrants, chairmans, whatever, they decide, no, every kid needs to be wearing a mask at all times, no exceptions. And it's like, that's fucking stupid. And the governor said you can't do that. And then the stupid judge, I think his name was John Cooper, the bitch, he said that, oh no, that's fine, I've looked at the science. And then we looked at the science, and it's just lacking, even on the CDC's website. That sucks. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis appealed a judge's ruling that the governor overreached and does not have the power to bar school districts from implementing mask mandates. The notice to appeal filed Thursday by DeSantis' office said that the filing in this notice triggers an automatic stay pending review. Last week, Leon County Circuit Judge John Cooper, there it is, good memory, called DeSantis' order unconstitutional and he cannot enforce it. Why? Oh, right, here's a statement, just in case anybody else forgot. Let's see how much of this I remembered. I have heard significant evidence concerning the medical and scientific basis for face mask policies, and I conclude this evidence demonstrates that face mask policies that follow the CDC guidance at this point in time are reasonable. That's wrong, because we looked at what the CDC is citing, and there's nothing there. Feel free to check that video out. I'm sure it has something to do with Florida in the title. I can't remember exactly which one, but yeah. Even the CDC can't back up their own claims. But hey, they're the authorities on this one. Listen to all their guidances. Earlier this week, the Republican governor said that the state will win its appeal in the First District Court of Appeal in Tallahassee due to a new state law, the Parents' Bill of Rights, which was recently passed. Ooh! We'll end up getting it back, DeSantis said on appeal. Obviously, Cooper's ruling is problematic. Ugh, I hate that term, but you might as well take it back. Parents, he added, should be given the ability to opt out of mask mandates. Yeah, exactly. Parents should have a say in what their kids do, not fucking the Lord and Savior big government. I know, right? Very controversial stance. Even a problematic stance, if you want to characterize it that way. His executive order, which was issued in July, directed the Florida Department of Education and the Florida Department of Health to implement emergency rules that give parents a choice about whether their children should wear a mask despite school districts' decisions to hand down COVID-19 masking mandates. But Cooper, in his ruling, cited the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's recommendation for universal masking, which is just made up of, technocrats wanting everybody to fucking buy mask stocks. I don't fucking know what the hell they're going on, but that's the good stuff. So we'll see where this one goes. Is there any idea as to when this one's going to be heard? But school boards in 13 Florida districts have since voted to defy DeSantis' order, citing the spread of the Delta variant in his decision to mandate masks. Yeah, is it really helping with the Delta variant, or is that just some more of that pseudoscience that's all a part of the science.tm? Perhaps. Time will tell. Let's see if it's successful. We'll be paying attention to that one. Now let's talk on to Joe. His handling of the economy is going about as well as his handling of the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Joe Biden struggles to defend historic jobs report failure, promotes more taxes as solution, because he's really dumb and doesn't know anything about the economy. Oh, but man, come on. I'm really good with foreign policy. Really, Joe? Fucking really? Seems like we keep doing this segment month over month when the jobs report comes out and it's like catastrophically bad. Not like missing the target by a couple thousand jobs. They're like missing them by hundreds of thousands of jobs. And this one's the worst. I can't believe it. Missing the mark by 500,000 jobs. Yes, 500,000 jobs he missed this by. Why do you think his approval ratings in the shitter and even the media is having to bring it up? They're going to have to call that Operation Special K report here very, very shortly on an expedited timeline. President Joe Biden again struggled to defend the disappointing job numbers for August, promoting more taxes as a solution. No. What? That's not how economy works, but okay. The United States economy only created 235,000 jobs in August. A disastrous number, as analysts predicted, as many as 740,000 jobs. A full 500,000 jobs more were predicted. And that wasn't being optimistic. That was being reasonable by those same groups that said that Joe Biden's economic plan was going to go ahead and take us right out of recession much better than Trump. Because what has Trump done besides create the greatest economy that in modern history has ever seen? But yeah, no, Joe Biden's better at everything. 81 million votes can't be wrong. Biden acknowledged he was disappointed by the report, but noted encouragingly the number was still positive. What, HIV? Well, I know some wanted to see a large number today, and so did I. What we've seen this year is continued growth month after month. Really, motherfucker? Obviously. But we're talking about the rate in which this growth is occurring, and is about as slow as your speech pattern in your very advanced age. Biden blamed the Delta variant of the coronavirus for hurting the economy. You know what it is? It's the government putting in more stupid restrictions like mask mandates and vaccine passports. That's what the cause of this is. You can't just say it's my Delta variant because you guys aren't really following the science on this one now, are you? You don't practice what you preach. But hey, I think that's probably the byline underneath the Democratic Party. So what did you expect? Always shifting. It's like, oh, I'm not going to take any responsibility for that. It's the Delta variant. Orange man bad. We'll get to that shortly. President inexplicably tried to compare the poor economic numbers to the coronavirus surge last winter. That's a stretch. When the vaccine was not widely available, to the current disappointing jobs numbers. We're adding jobs, not losing them. That's true, Joe. Good job. Do you want a sticker? He also promoted his proposal to raise taxes in order to offer more entitlements to poorer Americans. Okay, fewer people will be working because there's more taxes on companies. And you're just going to redistribute everybody's wealth by collecting it all together? Oh my God, the Great Reset is on its way. Build back better, folks. It's already been successful for the Taliban, reattributing and redistributing all of the mechanisms that the United States military had to the freedom fighters in Afghanistan. Oh boy. We're going to do it by leveling the playing field. That is commie talk, Biden said, saying corporations and the wealthy would be forced to pay more taxes. Again, it just blatantly shows he doesn't know anything about the economy, okay? Because if you took 100% of what the top 1% or even my top 10% had, that would only pay off a fraction. I don't have the numbers pulled up or anything, but you can look for yourself. If they took all of the money from the top 1 to 2%, up to 10%, I think it is, it would only pay a fraction of the national debt. Something that he's trying to drive up to just an astronomical level. But hey, it's more of these people needing to pay their fair share. What does that mean? A vast majority of Americans are struggling just to hang on. You know what would help, like right now? Dropping all these mandates. Getting your governors and your mayors together and having a conversation with them. If you could stay awake long enough, I guess. And tell them to drop their fucking retarded mandates. How about that? Florida's doing well. But my cases are surging. No, they're actually dropping now. Take a look at the real numbers. Oh my God. If you can believe this. Chuckling, he noted that the stock market was setting records during his presidency. What? Imagine if the other guy was. Oh my God. Oh my God. Imagine if the other guy was here, he said, referring to former President Donald Trump. Orange man bad. Deflect, deflect, deflect. Who repeatedly touted the stock market as a mark of success. That doesn't mean it's best for the economy. You can't talk about your economy in comparison with Trump's economy because you lose on every single fucking metric month over month. And when are people going to start waking up? Well, your base, the living ones, are actually very sufficient with just staying at home, eating the bugs, living in the pod. And they'll run with anything that you say. Because you guys remember, this one was down there in the corner. He kept checking his watch. And I said, it's like, if that's the only clip that's out there, and, you know, he shrugged his arm out, you know, tried to get some circulation into those old bones. And then it's like, oh, he's seen his watch, something bright and shiny. So obviously, like the toddler mind that he is, he checked his watch. And it's like, okay, if that's the only instance of that, then there's no real story here. But it looks like the fact checks that were out there to begin with were just running cover for Joe. I know, shocked, right? USA Today forced to correct fact check defending Biden over looking at watch during dignified transfer. Instead of fact checking Biden saying that Afghanistan's withdrawal was an extraordinary success, they're attacking Gold Star families. The media is not your friend. Mainstream media, legacy media, whatever you want to call them, all these fact checkers. That's why I always shit on USA Today, because they do this shit. And here's the original article, using the Wayback Machine for September 1st, okay, before they issued the correction. And then we'll go back to the article here in a minute, because here was the original claim. Fact check: Biden honored service members killed in Kabul. Checked watch only after the cemetery. His ceremony. The claim: Donald Trump saluted the... Wait, what? Where did Orange Man come from in all of this? Claim: Donald Trump saluted the caskets of his fallen U.S. service members while Joe Biden checked his watch. August 29th, President Joe Biden paid his respects in the U.S. Where's the watch in this? Where's the watch? On social media, Biden doubted... some doubted Biden's sincerity. A popular post features two photos, one of Biden and the now former President Donald Trump. The picture shows Biden appearing to check his watch, and Trump salutes as a man. These are false equivalencies if I've ever seen it, okay? So, okay, what is ultimately, what's their fact check here? President Joe Biden did not sleep through this meeting with, okay, whatever. I don't care if he fell asleep. He just looked like he did. Our rating, partly false. Okay. Based on our research, watching video, and you couldn't tell if he checked his watch more than once? Okay. We rate partly false the claims that Trump... What? Saluted the casket of fallen U.S. service members while Biden checked his watch. No, we're just asking... Whatever. The pictures are real. Okay. But they don't accurately summarize the two events. Yes, because you're just trying to grab at something that's not there. So it's interesting that you had to issue a correction and clarification. Same article, the next day, a little bit later than that, when they had to issue the correction. Correction and clarification. This story was updated yesterday, September 2nd. Yeah, it was yesterday, my mistake. To note that Biden checked his watch multiple times at a dignified transfer event, including during the ceremony itself. The rating of this claim has been changed from partly false to missing context. He checked his watch multiple fucking times like he couldn't be asked to be there, instead of saluting the caskets. He did, of course, obviously, have his hand over his heart, and that's literally the least you can do, but multiple times going down and checking your fucking wristwatch like you have somewhere else to be, like you're going to be late for your afternoon siesta, you can go fuck yourself, Joe. God, whenever I give this guy the benefit of the doubt, it always comes back to bite me in the ass. This week, as Gold Star families mourn the loss of their loved ones, whose lives were taken in service to the United States, USA Today felt it necessary to fact-check that claim, and President Joe Biden repeatedly eyed his watch during the dignified transfer ceremony last Sunday. On the original fact-check, USA Today, like we said, labeled it partly false. Based on our research, partly false? Yep. Well, guess what? After significant backlash, USA Today issued a correction, admitting that Biden did check his watch during the ceremony, and including Gold Star family statements, the rating was subsequently changed to missing context. Several family members of the fallen service members have criticized Biden for glancing at his watch. Glancing? Full-blown fucking shake out the arm, take a look at the watch. A little bit fucking different, don't you think? But hey, you guys gotta save your own asses. As my son and the rest of the family, of our fallen heroes, were taken off the plane yesterday, I watched you disrespect us all 5 different times by checking your watch. That's a big difference. Shanna Chappelle, mother of Marine Lance Corporal Kareem Nakui, wrote in an August 30th Facebook post. Oh, must have been a different one than what we looked at. Interesting. Darren Hoover, father of Marine Staff Sergeant Darren Taylor Hoover Jr., and Mark Schmitz, father of Marine Lance Corporal Jarrett Schmitz, told Fox News' Sean Hannity, right wings, or whatever, that Biden checked his watch multiple times during the dignified transfer. Hoover said it happened after each casket was presented. 5 times, 13 times, more than once. I'd give you a little bit of pause if it was at the beginning and it was at the end, because you could at least spin that as being somewhat dignified. You want to see how long it takes, make sure that the proper respect was being paid, but no, you just try to turn it into my son Bo, who was a military lawyer, died of brain cancer a long time ago. I still like to drag that up for sympathy points, and I just am really tired right now, and something about Hunter. He's a bag of shit. A fucking withered old bag of shit. That's why he's taking the weekend off. Who's surprised by that? Joe Biden makes Labor Day weekend plans in Delaware as Americans are stranded in Afghanistan and you have an economic crisis on your hands. And what else? Can we classify this presidency as being anything but a total fucking disaster at this point? Because this isn't nitpicking like what those fucking weirdos were doing for Trump in the first, 8 months in? These are full-blown catastrophes, month after month. What does he do? He just continues to hide away in Delaware every fucking weekend. Oh, but Trump golfed. Yeah, he shot 18 holes and he went right back to work. What's your fucking point? Joe Biden works 4 hours a day, maybe 4 days a week. And he just keeps trying to hide out at Camp David or back home in Delaware, where he can make a whole bunch of unsolicited and undocumented meetings with a bunch of dignitaries trying to line his pockets for when he's out of office here in hopefully a couple years' time. Of his own volition, of course. I don't wish any ill will on him, and plus I'm not necessarily calling for Kamala Harris anytime soon. I still think you should be impeached over Afghanistan, though. I'm making that totally clear, but that's not going to happen, and that's not going to be one of those carrots that anybody's going to be dingling, unless, of course, there's a new Senate leader and a new House leader for the Republicans, but I wouldn't back on them finding their spine anytime soon. Y'all have a great start to your long weekend. I hope you guys stick around because we got a bunch of stuff on Sunday. Saturday is going to be a little bit different because I feel like it might be a slow news weekend, knocking on wood. Hopefully nothing catastrophic happens, definitely. So I already have an idea of what we're going to be doing, and it's going to be a lot of opinion for one of the videos, and then it's going to be some sports coverage as well. So it might just be one news topic and then a bunch of sports stuff. So if you're down for that, stick around for Saturday. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we got a whole bunch of news topics for Sunday, and be back with the regular coverage on Monday. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.